Okay, 7th graders, we are going to be doing section 110 today, solving equations by adding or subtracting. So our objective here is to solve one-step equations using addition or subtraction today. This section, 1-9, we practiced being able to tell if a number would make the equation true or not. So the big thing here is that we are trying to find what number is going to make the equation true? What number can we put in there for the variable to make it true? Now, I know that lots of you can do some of this in your head, but in my opinion, it's really important to learn these skills so that when it gets harder or we start working with negative numbers, you can still do these problems. So there's a couple things that I do every single time. I draw a line through my equal sign that shows me both sides of the equation. I locate the variable. And I tell myself, okay, if I want to move the 8 away from the x, so you want to get the x alone, how would I do that? So you're basically looking at how are you going to zero this out? And we are going to zero this out by adding 8. And I like to write it right underneath because they make it a big problem like this. We know that if you had x minus 8 plus 8, that the 8s would cancel, and that's what we're trying to do. So we cancel this out. You bring the x down. 17 plus 8 is 25, and that's your answer. We can check this by putting 25 in for x. Does 25 minus 8 equal 17? It does, so we're good. Okay, so our next problem. Like I said, I like to go through and I like to draw lines down, all of them. Okay, so same thing here. We have b minus 7, so how do you undo subtraction? You are going to add 7 to both sides. So 24 plus 7 gives us 31, and there we go. 5 is being added to a. So in order to cancel this out or to get rid of it, you have to subtract 5 from both sides. 11 minus 5 is 6. Letter D, 14 is being added to t, so to get rid of 14, you have to subtract 14 from both sides. 29 minus 14 is 15. Letter E, 77 is being subtracted from R, so to get rid of that minus 77, you have to add it. You have to do the opposite operation. I know that 99 is almost 100, so 100 plus 77 would be 177, so 99 plus 77 would be 176. Okay, so those are those examples. Going back up to the top here, letter F. Some of these are on the other side of the equation. It does not matter. 66 is being subtracted from V, so you are going to add it to the other side. So 102 plus 66 would be 168. And I bring the V down to keep everything on the same side as it was, that type of thing. My next problem, you're trying to get F alone. 36 is being added to F, so you subtract 36 from both sides. Bring down your F. 36 or 45 minus 36 would give us 9. Next problem, 16 is being added to M, so you subtract 16. When I do this, 7 minus 6 is 1, 8 minus 1 is 7, and then the 9 comes down. Letter I. This one looks a little bit different because we are adding a negative 11. I know we haven't done a lot of work with negatives yet, but again, you can visualize this like you have a negative 11. How do you cancel out a negative 11? You add 11. N equals 8 plus 11, which would give us 19. Again, we could check our answer. Negative 11, positive 19 does give you that 8. On this side, 10 is being subtracted, so you are going to add it. I know you guys haven't done a lot with negative numbers. We will cover more of that next chapter. But just to kind of show you, you've got 4 on the negative team and 10 on the positive team. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how this works is that every positive and negative, they will cancel each other out. What do we have left? We have 6 positives left. So that's our answer. Okay, last couple problems. They want you to be able to apply this skill to situations. So it says Michael Jordan's highest point total for a single game was 69 points. The entire team scored 117 points in that game. How many points did his teammates score? Write and solve an equation to solve. So when I do this, I know that we've got MJ's plus his team points equals total. Well, what do we know? We know that his score was 69. We do not know what his teammates scored, but we do know that the total points was 117. So here's the first part. Here's our equation. That's part of your answer. Then to solve it, we would subtract that 69 from both sides, and those would cancel. We get t equals, so 117, let's do this off to the side. If you guys forgot how to do subtraction, 17 minus 9 would be 8, and then 10 minus 6 would be 4. So we've got 48 points is what his team scored. Same thing on the other problem. The Giants score 13 points in a game against Dallas. They scored 7 points for a touchdown, and the rest of their points were for field goals. How many points did they score? So touchdowns plus field goals equals total points. And like I said, I know that you guys can figure this out in your head, but we're working on some skills how to set up these equations. So they scored 13 points total. They scored 7 points for a touchdown. We want to know how much were the field goals. So setting up the equation is part of your work, part of your answer. So to get the f by itself, I would subtract 7 from both sides. The field goal points were 6. Make sure you label on those word problems. So like I said, even though if you guys can do this in your head, we're working on those skills that involve doing the steps to do this and setting up the equations to solve them. So I don't want you guys to slack on your work.